and you and you and you. How sweet it is to be loved by you. All of you, yeah, yeah. How sweet it is to be loved by you.
Wow, that was amazing. How sweet it is. Thank you, loves. Let's give them some more love. Wow. Wow, what a beautiful day it is. I feel the buzz in the room. Do you guys feel that? Woo! It's so good to be here with you this morning. I feel really blessed to get to be standing in this position. Wow. You should see how beautiful you are. I see you, Greta. You can't hide. Greta's here. Wow. And Reverend Diane's here. And you're here. Woo! And I'm here. Ah! Marilene's here. Oh, wow. It's a great day to be alive. So interestingly, the topic today is really about, let's see, what does the program say? Unlearning fear of darkness, and then I changed it to don't be afraid of the dark, and then Spirit said, yeah, but it's Mother's Day. Don't be afraid of the dark on Mother's Day. And so we have a little bit of a combination thing. It's a combo for you today. I'm going to talk a little bit about Mother's Day, a little bit about the darkness and how we can embrace the darkness and move forward in love and feeling that love. And then we're going to have a beautiful ceremony where I am going to invoke the presence of the Divine Mother by saying names of all of the mothers and the goddesses, and then we'll speak the names of our mothers and anyone we know who is the mother into the room, and we're going to just feel that beautiful Divine Mother energy, and then go into the rest of our Mother's Day feeling that love. So I do want to say Happy Mother's Day to everyone, all genders alike. We are all mothers, even if we don't have children. And to those of you who maybe had a poor relationship with your mother and this is a difficult day for you, that's okay too. I see you. I honor you. I know that the Divine Mother loves you more than anything and is holding you close right now. And the image of Amma pops into my mind, and Amma is also known as the hugging saint. And so I know that the divine embrace strengthens each one of us and nurtures and loves us in any of those places that our earthly mother did not. Now, I also acknowledge and feel, I can actually feel I'm an empath. How many of you are empaths? Right? I feel like I can feel in the room some of us have pain also. This is a difficult time. Either our mother is no longer with us in form, and so we have some sadness about that, or maybe our children are no longer with us in form, and there's sadness about that. So I'm glad that you're here today, and that you will, my prayer and intention is that you feel this love of the Divine Mother through the energy that is created on this day, and know that you are so loved. Yes. So I celebrate all of the mothers today, those who currently mother, have ever mothered, and mothers to be. How many of you know mothers to be in your life? Yes, we've got one. I'm going to be a grandma. Can you believe that? Right? So I get to celebrate like that now too, yeah? Whether it's your own children, the children of others, pets, friends, plants, your own inner child, you are mothering. If you have ever nurtured, guided, offered a healing presence, given a hug, unconditionally loved or shared strength and wisdom with another, then you have mothered. And I am grateful for you. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. So we humans tend to fear the unknown and that which we don't understand. We label, dominate, control, and we may even cast some negativity onto these spaces as dark and ominous. But the Divine Mother principle actually embodies fertility and creativity in the darkness and gives birth from the darkness into the light in partnership with both. And so the realization and understanding for us to take with us today is we actually need both. We need the darkness and the light. And we can, if we can find it within us to let go of our resistance to that darkness and let go of our labeling it as negative and something we don't want to experience and, we just can't, then we will really experience it in a way that we move through it quickly, which is what we want, right? But I know that in times when I've experienced darkness, it starts to feel like it's not going to change, and then there's that fear of people becoming aware of the darkness, and nobody wants to see you that way, and then you isolate, right? No, we're over that. This is a new day. This is 2023. And so we're bringing our whole selves to the party, right? We can bring our whole selves, light and dark, and you are perfect exactly as you are. And you can't stay that way. Because we're evolving. We're always evolving. Always, constantly evolving creatures. So I love what Richard Rohr said. He wrote, "The closer you get to the light, the more of your shadow you see." Now, have any of you been playing with this idea of the shadow and where your shadow is when you're outside? If you're, out walking, you can see sometimes there is a really big shadow. My husband, for instance, his shadow's like 14 feet. 14 feet. I mean, yeah. It's like, whoa, it goes like all the way over to there. It's like, what is happening here? He casts a big shadow. Doesn't that make you just love him? Like, wow, you've got a big shadow. I love you. He does, yes. And so does he. And so, yeah, didn't mean to single you out. But the closer we get to the light, the more of our shadow we see. And when you're outside and you see your shadow, you're not like trying to kick it or hide it or so if we can bring this energy of like, oh, check out my shadow. It's way over there. Like approach it with love and embrace it and a giddiness, because that takes that negative power out of it and it allows us to really see it for what it is and to allow it and know that, well, there's a whole lot of light. Somebody last week, it was like the one thing they got from the talk was that, oh, if I'm in my shadow, I must have a really bright light if I'm feeling this depth of the darkness of my shadow, which is true, and it's beautiful. So Ernest Holmes said we can sit in the shade or move into the sunshine. Sitting in the shadow, we may not really believe that there is any sunshine. How many of you can relate to that? Ever been in the shadow so deep that it felt like there's no sunshine. It's not there. But the sun is there all the time, and we must awaken to it. We must awaken to it and take a step out of the shadow, and then you can see it as the observer for what it is. So what we have done, as humans is made darkness like this evil thing. And in this teaching, we don't believe in evil, but we know what evil is, don't we? We don't believe in it, but we know when we say that word, we think of something that is yuck. It's yuck, right? So we'll use the word yuck instead of evil. There's this yuck, and we make the dark like a yucky thing. Even when we were kids, right? Remember the boogeyman or the monster under the bed? I think we're taught this at a very young age. But the darkness is actually the fertile space of creation, creativity, and the womb. And the darkness is what gives birth to the light. In order to appreciate the beauty of the darkness, we have to unlearn those stigmas about it and begin to partner with the dark instead of fearing it, controlling it, and labeling it. So what comes to mind for me is a seed, right? You plant a seed in the soil, and it's in the dark, underneath the soil. And I'll know as a seed like, get me out of here, this sucks. I don't know, but the seed is in the dark, and it reaches a point when it has germinated, and then it's ready to push up into the light, into, right above the soil, right above the darkness. And it's not like praying itself to hurry up and get out of this dark, right? It's just part of the natural way of things. So it always will reach up toward the light. And then it springs forth into the light, and it's got like either a sprout or, it's already got a couple of leaves. Are you getting that mental image with me right now, right? Yes. You see it's like, and it's green or whatever, And this is just the beginning. So what I always remember and remind myself is the light always returns. It must. It must. This is the nature of our experience on this planet. It must. The light will always return. Now, I love that and that idea. If we approach the unknown with a sense of wonderment and awe, that will really change our relationship with darkness and help us actually encircle those shadows and the light and have them become one. Because we remember that fire can heat and it can burn us, right? Gravity can hold us up or cause things to fall and crash. Electricity can provide light or it can electrocute. If our subconscious mind is filled with negativity about the dark, we are bound to manifest that negativity in our experience based on our thoughts and fears. So if we become aware of the inner dynamics that may sabotage our good and work to transform those, then we embrace the dark and we're not creating more negative experiences. Ernest Holmes said, change your thinking, change your life. So it's a practice that can be embraced in order for us to unlearn our fear of the darkness. And what a beautiful gift. Like if you're in this room, if you're watching on Zoom and you have friends, or if you're not in this room, speaking to those two, and they're members of this community, in other words, one of the beautiful things is that when you're in the darkness, you have practitioners and ministers that you can reach out to who are going to pull you up or honor you and bring that love to you while you're in the dark. And they will know for you that the light will return because it must. So good on you for being here. Yeah. So there are 3 things that got my attention this week that I really want to share. So the first is a story. Now, once upon a time, there was a man who went out to take a ride in his fancy sports car. He decided to ride the beautiful windy roads through the country. Picture the scene, right? He was having a great time, the wind blowing in his hair. He was enjoying the fresh air when suddenly in the opposite direction came another convertible, careening out of control. He swerved to miss the car, barely missed it. And there was a woman driving that other car, and she passed him distressed, and she screamed at him, "Pig!" with flailing arms as she whizzed by. The man was appalled, thinking, that other driver was the one out of control. How dare she call me a pig? Suddenly, around the corner, a pig came out and he slammed right into it. You guys knew that was coming. Now, if this man had been driving through the back roads of Kauai, he would have had a totally different experience because pig would have taken on a totally different meaning. You can actually run into a pig out there, and it's actually a possibility of seeing a pig on the road. So the woman called out the word pig to help him, and the man's response was to project his shadow. Who is she calling a pig? Now we laugh because we can relate, right? We can totally relate. That's the shadow. So the shadow is actually kind of funny and silly at times, not scary like the boogeyman under the bed that we make it out to be. Don't be afraid of the dark. Think of the shadow like that shady spot under a tree on a blazing hot day. Respite, right? Change your thinking. Our perceptions and beliefs are the lenses through which we see our lives. Now, Ernest Holmes also wrote as a beautiful and true thought to realize that every person stands in the shadow of a mighty mind, a pure intelligence, and a divine givingness. So, what that would mean for me is that as I become more aware of the light, as the light starts to shine brighter and brighter, that light of truth, right? The more I let it into my heart and the more I become aware of it, I may see a little bit of darkness. And the darkness is okay because it's all part of it. It's all part of this thing, this one thing. So in our objective experience, we see the shadow we cast as we stand in front of a mighty mind. The mind that is all, the mind that is unlimited. Powerful, yes? Yes. Okay, now, the other piece is about, let's see. Oh, I got a good one here. How many of you have heard of Plato's allegory of the cave? Oh, cool. Yeah, we're going deep here. So I reread Plato's allegory of the cave last week. Now, if you're unfamiliar with it, it's simply stated it's about a group of people who are sitting in an underground cave facing the walls, and they are chained up and they cannot move their heads. Behind them is a fire that is forever burning, and its flames are casting shadows on the cave walls. Now, between the fire and the cave walls, there's a road, and people walk along this road carrying various objects, models of animals made of stone and wood, human statuettes, and other things. Now, the people who walk along the road and the objects they carry cast shadows on the cave walls. So the people who are chained in the cave and facing the wall can only see the shadows of the people and the objects that they carry. They never see the actual people and objects walking past them. To the people chained up in the cave, these shadows appear to be the reality because they don't know any better. Whoa, right there, right? Our shadow seems so real, doesn't it? This illusion or these false ideas and the false imprints that we have that are being projected out, they seem so real. And when we begin to recognize that, oh, maybe this isn't the truth. Maybe this is an aspect of darkness that lives within me that I can shine the light of consciousness upon. So the reality to the people chained in the cave is that they only ever see a copy of a copy. What? A copy of a copy. The shadows of the original forms, which themselves remained beyond their view, right? So one of them is set free. One of them is set free to explore the outer world and gets a glimpse of life and the light, and they're expanded into the infinite possibilities of something different. At first, the person can't even see. It's so bright. The person can't even see. And when they come back to tell their fellow cave people about it, the others laugh, telling them, that's not true, you're delusional. Well, we laugh because we can relate, right? The others cannot budge from the reality of their cave, right? They cannot budge from their reality of life in that cave. So some of us are living in the shadows or have lived in the darkness for so long that we think that is all that there is. Now, I believe that our greatest fear is that things won't change, you know? It's not that we're afraid of specific things. We're afraid that it's not going to change, like we're stuck in this particular zone forever. But all things are passing. Everything is changing. Everything is changing. Just look in the mirror. That's a word for me too. Everything is changing, always, right? You got to bless it. Bless, bless, bless. The light for these folks in the cave, imagine somebody comes back and it's like, oh, there's so much light. It's so great out there. And it's not really an animal. It was just a statue or whatever. It seems like a fantasy, right? The light seems like a fantasy or not real, but truth is truth. It is not delusional. And we are called to get comfortable with the shadow as we step into the light and as we bring the light to the shadow, and be aware of the shadow that we cast, and then we can giggle about it, right? And not be afraid of it and allow ourselves to be transformed by it. Now I have one more story, and that is the limitations that we feel are only training that we have received. So the limitations that we sometimes feel are only the training that we have received or the perceptions of the earth's collective consciousness and our own walls of thought. So Ernest Holmes writes about this. He says, so every day we are living from this unity with God, freedom, law, and are projecting the experiences from it upon the screen of our objective lives. We have done this so long in ignorance that we appear to be bound by the outlines of the forms which our ignorance has projected. Excuse me, right? Who you calling ignorant? The shadows are so real that they have become our reality. So a friend of mine wanted to become an actor. This is an example. And she got another job thinking that, well, until I make it as an actor, this will help me be safe and fed. So this made sense to her. Makes sense, right? Because her belief was that she couldn't make it as an actor. It might have been the smart way at the time, but the problem was that her plan B became so real and secure that it became her plan A. Her projection was real, but she didn't realize that it was coming from her limited belief. So she busted through that barrier and fast forward became a full-time minister in Kauai, right? Awesome, yeah. Aloha. So it's so amazing how we can project our shadow and have that become our reality, So lots to think about, lots for you to ruminate and contemplate over this week. But as I begin to wrap it up so we can move into our ritual and ceremony, remember that by unlearning our collective fear of the dark, we invite healing and balance with light and darkness. The Divine Mother principle teaches us about the creative medium that holds darkness as creativity and gestation of life. It nurtures life in the safe, dark space of love to be born into physical manifestation and light. Friends, don't be afraid of the dark. Don't be afraid of the dark. We need the darkness. The seed that goes into the soil spends time in the darkness underground to germinate before it springs forth above the ground mightily. The dark is actually helpful and supportive. Wow. Yeah. I love what Elizabeth Kubler-Ross wrote. People are like stained glass windows. They sparkle and shine when the sun is out, but when the darkness sets in, their beauty is revealed only if there is a light from within. I know there is light within each of us, and we can count on that. We can count on that light to continue to shine, even as we sit in the dark. Shine, 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 yes. So I'm going to invite Travis to come up, and I want to share some questions for you to contemplate over the week and possibly journal about. So question number 1 is, what are common beliefs and myths about light and darkness? Where do these common beliefs and myths come from, and how do they spread? Number 3, how have these common beliefs and myths helped us or helped you? And 4, how have these common beliefs and myths hurt us or hurt you? So those are 4 questions for you. And then before we go into our prayer, we're going to move from our prayer right into our ritual. So I wanted to ask and make sure that everyone has a stone. Do you all have a stone? You should have been handed one when you came in. Okay, can we get somebody to grab the extra stones? And oh, here we go. Norma's got some. Oh, whoop, there it is. Anybody else need a stone? Oh. Does everybody else have a stone? You have a stone, Reverend Diane? Beautiful. All right, so we're going to do a closing prayer to transition into our next space. Yes? So let's take a deep breath together. And join me in returning to that beautiful, expansive space within. This is the space where I know and remember with every fiber of my being that spirit is all that there is. This is the light. This is the light within me, and it's shining. It's always shining. Even when I find myself in dark spaces, there is this light within me that is shining, and it is bright. It is so bright that I cannot be overcome in darkness. I remember who I am. I know in this moment that there is only one life. That life is God. That life is perfect, and that life is my life right now. And I'm so grateful for this life. I mean, what a blessing. Like, we're here right now on the planet together at this time, and it's a celebration. I don't know about anyone else, but I feel the love and the light of the divine so powerful within me. Actually, I know that this is true for each one of us. We feel this light, and we feel this presence of love, and the fact that it wants to experience life through us. It wants to love, it wants to dance and sing and feel that joy and share that joy and peace and love and harmony with everyone. And as we do so, we are strengthened. Our faith is strengthened, and we remember that even in those moments of darkness, that this light lives within us, always. There is nothing to fear. We embrace all aspects of ourselves, even those that we don't like, even those that we don't even know about. But we sit and wonder at times, why did that happen that way? We love that part of ourselves and know that in communities like this, there is an opportunity for healing. There is an opportunity to make transformation occur in our own lives. There is an opportunity for us to be all that we came here to be. And it's simply like peeling away those layers of the onion. Oh, look, what's under there? Oh, look, what's under there? And it's fun. We find it fun. we are immune to the tearful inducing stuff of the onion. It's fun, it's joyful, because the more we get to be present to who we truly are, the more we get to shine. Oh, I'm so grateful, Spirit. I'm so grateful for the reminder that the light always returns. It must. And that everything is changing. I'm so grateful. I know that as we go forward from here into our week, we have an experience of meeting our shadow. And we meet the shadow as an observer. And instead of despising it or labeling it or judging it, we pull it in and embrace it. This is a part of me that I also love. And we take our power back and we get to shine even brighter. I'm so grateful for this love. I'm so grateful for this light. And I know that we are blessed beyond measure. I'm grateful, thankful, and with this great appreciation, I can send this prayer into that loving and creative action of the law where it is done and it is made manifest, because that's the way the law works. I invite you to help me anchor this truth by saying with me, and so it is. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Woo. All right, friends. So today we are celebrating the Divine Mother, and we have a heart. It's the shape of a heart up here, and this is a representation of the heart of Mother Divine. And so it represents all of the goddess mothers. It represents Mother, Father, God. It represents all that we can imagine, the all in all. It represents the creator, the source of all. It represents every aspect of this life. It represents my mom and her mom, my dad's mom and his mom, your mom and her mom, and so forth. And so as we begin to feel all of the lineage of the Divine Mothers, we're going to experience so much love in this room. I already feel the love occurring, even as I'm speaking. Now, you all have a stone that you were given. I invite you to take this stone and hold it in your hands so that it is infused with your energy, and it gets infused with this Divine Mother love energy as we begin to call into this room, invoking the presence of the Mother. So we're going to honor all of the mothers of our lineage to join us with their divine feminine mother energy by speaking their names into the room. You can close your eyes if you feel like it, and let the music sort of take you into that space of Divine Mother. I'm going to begin by naming goddesses. And I need a stone, too. I'm taking one. Adi Shakti, Amma, Annapurna, Aphrodite, Artemis, Athena, Bast, Beltane, Bhavani, Bhumi, Brahmani, Brigid, Ceres, Shakti, Chintamani, Devi, Dhumavati, Diana, Durga, Eos, Freya, Gaia, Ganja, Gayatri, Goddess, Gangama, Hathor, Hera, Inanna, Indrani, Isis, Kalasidi, Kali, Kaveri, Lakshmi, Alita, Mama, Mamiwata, Mandarava, Matangi, Mazu, Minerva, Mom, Mommy, Mother, Mother Divine, Mother Goddess, Mother Mary, Narashima, Natura, Ostara, Pachamama, Parvati, Kuan Yin, Radha, Rudrani, Sarasvati, Sita, Sophia, Tara, Varahi, Vinayaki, Varaha, Yamuna. And now we will speak the names of our mothers into the room or type it into the chat if you're on Zoom. Linda, Ginny, Marie, Jody, Kelsey, Aileen, Lori, Laura, Vicky, Leslie, Kendra, Kathy, Eldoris, Audrey, Heather, Mika, Amy, Odie, Jessica. Any other mother names that come to mind, feel free to speak it now. And now I invite you to come up through the middle, if you will, and walk over to the heart of the Divine Mother and place your stone that you've been holding into the heart. Yeah. Come on up. Perfect. Thank you, love. Perfect. Yeah. Got it? Yes, you got it. Right. You have yours? All right, now I'm going to stand in this divine heart. And I invite you to, after the service, come up and stand in this if you feel called to feel that energy. There's so much love. I mean, it's just vibing so magnificently. Friends, if you'll now, thank you. Place your hands over your heart as if blessing yourself. And please repeat after me. I love you, Mother.
I love you, Mother.
I forgive you, Mother. Thank you, Mother. I am whole, perfect and complete. I accept myself exactly as I am. All of my needs are met. I am one with my source. And so it is. And now call to mind whatever you might be mothering in your own life right now. Maybe it's a new project or a new furry friend. Perhaps you're finding new ways to nurture yourself or your spiritual community. Maybe it's a new way of being that you have chosen to embody. Or maybe you're choosing a new way right now. Perhaps there's a new way of talking to yourself or your partner that you're nurturing and mothering. Maybe you've been inspired by someone else's mother. Perhaps you've committed to a new spiritual practice like prayer and meditation, and you're mothering that. Maybe you've increased your giving or your service to the world. Or maybe you've promised to be more kind and loving to yourself or others. Perhaps you're entering a new stage or phase in your life, a new era. So imagine in your mind's eye that whatever it is that you are mothering, you're placing the energy of that into the care of the Divine Mother, knowing that she fulfills your prayer and that you are filled with the sweetness of divine motherly energy and all of the mother energy in this room. and the loving mother energy of all of us swimming in this ocean of devotion together today. Can you feel the love? Yes. Okay, let's take a few deep breaths together. One more. And as you breathe in peace and stillness, you are exhaling any tension or worry, and you are aligning with your highest self. Ask it to be your guide on this inner journey. Now you enter into the veiled and mysterious presence of the divine. Known by many names in many spiritual traditions, a sense of awe fills you. Notice how the Mother Goddess appears to you. Allow yourself to be embraced by the beautiful, loving energy radiating from her heart. Feel your own heart open and expand as your consciousness blends with hers, releasing any barriers or blockages. Feel this sacred heart energy healing and renewing you, filling every part of you. Experience the generative, form-giving energy of her essence, matter itself as light is released. Feel the Divine Mother supporting you, the energy of matter, and the earth itself supporting you. Now see the veil that is covering her face. It's the veil of the mysteries, the veil of matter itself being lifted. Before you now is the radiant face of the Divine Mother, illumined through the light of your human understanding. You now know directly that heaven and earth, spirit and matter are one energy vibrating at higher and lower frequencies. Now slowly, as you are ready, carry that radiant love of the Divine Mother with you into your own heart and begin to feel your body once again in this room, moving your hands and feet, and slowly open your eyes when it feels natural to do so. You are loved, and so it is.